You know Faker as the greatest player to ever play League of Legends. But in 2015, the most exciting mid laner in the scene was spending a lot of his time playing from behind a substitute. In interviews, Faker said he was willing to do whatever was best for the team, but actions speak louder than words. As 2015 began, Faker was coming off a season that saw him try and fail to carry SKT to Worlds. But if anything, that season showed how incredible a player Faker really is, even when the situation around him is unstable. Near the end of that year, Riot released Azir. While the champion was released in September, he wasn't enabled for Worlds. But Azir's intricate design made fans wonder how exactly Faker would take advantage of it. Between two of his accounts, Faker played 42 games on Azir in 2014. And while his win rate wasn't all that high, he did make some highlights. The rules for the 2015 LCK season got rid of sister teams, so Faker and Bengi joined Marin, Wolf, and Bang from T1S. But the mid laner from T1S, Easyhoon, also made the switch. And as the meta started to shift from assassins to control mages, it became clear that Faker was going to have to share time, even at the beginning of the split.
Aren't I? Wait, what's this? What's this I spy in the SKT booth? It's not Faker, it's Easyhoon. Faker, here's how we operate. We pick our star player into an unfavorable matchup and then we kick him out when he doesn't do well.
In the LCK, Faker spent most of his time playing champions like Ezreal, Ahri, and LeBlanc. Meanwhile, Easyhoon was playing champions like Lulu, Xerath, and Cassiopeia. But outside of the LCK, Faker racked up games on Azir in solo queue. He played 130 games on the champion in 2015, more than any other champion he played. For someone whose substitute was supposed to be handling control mages, Faker was spending a lot of his time trying to master one. But in week 6 of the season, Faker finally got a chance to show off his Azir.
Yes! We may finally get to see Faker's Azir. This would be very exciting. We've seen a lot of clips from it from solo queue. Yes!
Yeah, it's happening.
It wasn't exactly the debut fans were expecting.
Some zones trying to protect that ward. Over the wall they come and trying to take Faker. Faker alt solar flare though slows him down. He gets out on the lantern though. Peekaboo. Man, this guy is good.
He's just always there.
Oh,
no! Faker!
Oh, why would you recall there? Then Q used, W locks him up, and Faker comes in. Will they give Faker the kill? Marin needs Zonius. Faker needs to finish off Smeb right now. He will, but here comes Lee. There's an easy kill, and Faker's in trouble too. Solar flare. Oh, he gets out on the lantern. Nice play, keeping Kuro away though. Kuro tries to come in. There's Zonius. Faker just needs to go. Bengi coming back. Kuro's gonna.
He's on the chase. Faker.
I don't know. He comes in.
Kuro gets in.
Oh, Kuro got the kill. That's right. In the end, after all said and done, the GE Tigers will come out of the first half of the season 7-0. GG, they've done it. SKT defeated 2-1.
As both mid laners continued to share time, SKT finished second in the regular season. Faker played 20 games and Easyhoon played 12. In the playoffs, Faker was a key part of SKT's reverse sweep against CJ Entus. After Easyhoon played in a Game 1 loss, Faker stepped in. But when it came time for the grand finals against the GE Tigers, Faker sat out the entire series, with Easyhoon playing mid with Cassiopeia and Azir to sweep their opponents.
Down, the second Nexus turret down, a triple kill for Marin, and SKT with top, with Easyhoon, takes the 3-0!
Faker took the opportunity in a post-game interview to say he was happy that his team won, but he was willing to do whatever it took to make sure he could play in key series in the future. As SKT prepared for MSI, the question of their mid lane still remained. But with days to go before the tournament, Faker was still practicing Azir in solo queue. At MSI, Faker got another chance to pull out the Azir, but maybe in the least risky way possible, against tournament underdogs Besiktas eSports Club. Still, it was his birthday, and fans ate it up.
Faker closer, but he doesn't have that much mana. Energy trying to get away. Energy throws down his Ignite. Faker throws down the cleanse. Oh! Faker coming up in the 1v1.
Faker got to play Azir 2 more times that tournament. but by the time Grand Finals rolled around, he was riding the bench for the first 3 games against EDG. However, they put Faker back in with Kassadin for Game 4, forced to Game 5, and eventually his undefeated LeBlanc was countered in the final game of the series.
He still has eyes on the rest of the team. Elixir of Sorcery on him as well to get out a bit of extra damage. Goro finds him with the twisted advance as he pulls back to Distortion. SK Telecom T1 are wiped. The Nexus turrets are going down. LPL's Edward Gaming are the 2015 Mid-Season Invitational Champions.
Returning to LCK for the summer, the narrative about Faker was still the same. He was an incredible talent, but there were things Easyhoon could do that Faker just couldn't.
Crushed dreams and broken wings.
That's right. Okay. Oh, well, nice job on that. Was a beautiful outplay.
Zonia's as OQ comes in. Bengi there as well. There's a double kill for Dude comes in though. Hoon gets the double kill. It's true. Easyhoon rather.
Faker was playing more games, but Easyhoon was still considered the better Azir player, even though Faker was grinding out games in solo queue. Faker didn't get another chance to show how his Azir had progressed until week 7. Playing a 0-9 Spen-U Sonic Boom, Faker played Azir into Vel'Koz, and he picked up his first LCK win on Azir, but just barely.
There's too much from SK Telecom right now. Sasin just joining the fight. He's got to get a beam over the wall. Bang is just nailed into the wall after the Rise Rune Prison kept him there. And Sasin gets the kill to Faker. The double. And in the end, SK Telecom is going to win this game. Mar doesn't even look happy after that game.
I wouldn't be happy if I was SK Telecom T1. Got taken to the brink by a mid Vel'Koz.
Strangely, this seems to have been the turning point for Faker's Azir. He played Azir 2 more times that season, going up against the Ku Tigers and CJ Entus, winning both times. As SKT entered the playoffs in first place, they only had to beat KT Rolster. This time, Easyhoon rode the bench, as Faker played all 3 games, playing Riven, Diana, and Azir.
In response, will SKT come from the side? Piglet takes some damage. Here we go. Are they going to go in? Marin goes deep. Faker in a lot of trouble, though. Gets it with the Assaulted Battery. Pushes people away with that Emperor's Divine. Very patient use on that one. Goodbye, Nagne. A kill for Marin and Bang. Untouched in the back. Going after everyone. Goodbye, Pickaboo. A double kill for Marin. Wolf trying to find more plays to make someday. Finally, it's Megadar right before he's taken out by Faker.
SKT brought Easyhoon to Worlds, but Faker still played the lion's share of the games of the tournament. The Juggernaut patch that hit before Worlds, though, changed a lot of the pick ban priority, and Faker played a lot more Rise than he did Azir. And in their grand final series against the Ku Tigers, it was Faker, not Easyhoon, who was in for every single game. Easyhoon left for China after 2015, and noted that while he was willing to share time and make sacrifices for SKT, the shadow of the unkillable Demon King was a lot colder than he expected. And as it turned out, Faker picked a pretty good time to get good at Azir. In 2016, he became known for his unbelievable plays on the champion.
Either way, it pulls SKT even. And Faker looking to make it more than equal. Going in for Xiaohu. One more attack will do it, and he gets it!
It's just easy for them to back off, especially with their 7K.
Oh, Faker's going in, big flashes in, knocks back 2 people with the Emperor's Divine. They're going to find BDD, and Utara is going to follow suit, and Faker with the big play underneath the inhibitor tower.
And now SK Telecom chasing Faker already with the Disc of the Sun, where the turret used to be. Nice Emperor's Divine, gets Kuzan and Pilot. Not the knockups though. Faker gets very low, but SKT all over this team fight. Trace, the last one standing. That's a double kill for Faker. What a play on that Azir.
Even though 2015's Control Mage meta was perfect for Easyhoon, Faker had surpassed him. Even the greats in League of Legends have bad metas or picks they struggle with, but Faker set out to prove that those limits don't apply to him. And he did.
Thanks for watching. If you want more great content just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button.